Hello, welcome back to Emerald Tablets of Thoth. This is going to be starting with the sixth paragraph. Since I already did the first six paragraphs of Emerald Tablet 1, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so obviously, what have we reviewed so far? Okay, oh man, this dude is crazy awesome. That's what we've learned. Thoth is a genius. He's been through everything. I don't even know if I call him a genius because he's been through everything, and that's the reason why he's so knowledgeable. If you've been through so much, you're going to be that much more knowledgeable, correct? I think so. Okay, so, all right, what are we at today? We are on Emerald Tablet 1, paragraph, going into the seventh paragraph, which starts with down through the ages I lived, seeing those around me taste the cup of death and return again in the light of life. Yeah, so he's seen other people of the same, he's recognized people, and like he's experienced things, and he remembers like the experiences maybe he had with him, or just remembering. And if you've been alive for thousands of years, you're going to run into a lot of people, and a lot of lives are going to be. You're going to recognize people. You're going to, especially if you have all the knowledge that he would back in the day when they're all higher consciousness and stuff. Okay, so seeing the taste. Seeing those around me taste the cup of death and return again in the light of life, gradually from the kingdoms of Atlantis, past waves of, I'm going to guess consciousness, but let's see here. Yep. Hey, I was right. I swear I did not look at that, but I have listened to the Emerald Tablets quite a bit, so I was pretty, that's not that impressive. That's not that impressive. Okay. So don't think I'm a freaking genius or something, or amazing at memories, because I'm not. But I'm just kidding. Okay. Past waves of consciousness that had been one with me, and only to be replaced by a spawn of a lower star. That's again talking definitely about from one higher consciousness replaced by a freaking lower. Like, think if you could fly and do everything your last life. Well, no, I guess that's not the way to look at it. Yeah, I'm going to from like it. They'll talk about more about losing their kind of like they lost their memory. They didn't, like Thoth was one of the few people that could, I guess, from my understanding, remember all his past lives and stuff. Not necessarily of the time. Maybe other people did back then. I'm not quite sure on that, but yeah. Okay. In obedience to the law, the word of the master grew into a flower. In obedience to the law, the word of the master grew into flower. So it evolved into probably a beautiful thing. That'd be my guess. Downward into darkness turned the thoughts of the Atlanteans. That's because they were lower consciousness. So here we go again. Let's go back to racism and all that stuff that's still happening today. But now it's finally getting out there. But that's not the point. Okay. Until at last, in his wrath arose from his aguante, the dweller. This word has, okay, in parentheses, this has word no English equivalent. It means state of detachment. So aguante would be, or dweller would be state, means state of detachment. So speaking the word, calling the power. It means a state of the dweller, speaking the word, calling the power. Downward into the dark. Man, I get stuck on these. till the at last in his wrath arose from his aguante state of detachment. Like he was detached, the dweller, speaking the word, calling the power. Maybe it'll deep in earth's heart, the sons of Amate heard, and hearing, directed the changing of the flower of fire that burns eternally. Changing and shifting, using the logos, until that great fire changed its direction. Deep in earth's heart, the sons of Amate heard, and hearing, directed the changing of the flower of fire that burns. Deep in the earth. Oh, okay. Going into the center of the earth, and some of my conclusions are halfway between, because I've already thought about it before, and obviously, so I'm not just always going, just making this up as I go. And the earth's heart would be like the core, I would think. The sons of Amate heard and hearing, directed the changing of the flower of the fire that burns eternally. Changing and shifting, using the logos, until that great fire changed its direction. That from my understanding, the earth changed magnetically, like it flipped poles, and it had, from what you're gonna understand with a lot of this stuff, if you don't already, is that everything has to do with frequency, and Nikola Tesla would have said that as well, and the frequency of the Earth, I believe, was 7.82 hertz, like on average. So whatever would resonate with. But if it would be at a higher frequency on a normal basis, it would have a profound effect on us as humans, because there would be, even if it's on a microscopic level, but if it goes from 7.82 hertz or whatever to 7.83, maybe that's not going to be a crazy effect, but kind of like earthquakes, double in power, like every magnitude 4, a 5 is like double as bad as a 4, from my understanding. Okay. Oh, that changes its direction. Okay, I think we covered that. Magnetic pole shifting. Over the world then broke the great waters. Drowning and sinking, changing earth's balance until only the temple of light was left standing on the great mountain of Undal, still rising out of the water. Some there were who were living, saved from the rush of the fountains. That has to do with the great flood that's in almost every culture around the world, if not all cultures. They speak of this great flood. So there were still people living, saved from the rush of the fountains. So only the temple. I'm seeing if there's any. Over the world then broke the great waters. Like, what would, obviously the waters freaking drowning and sinking, changing the earth's balance. Yeah, that's crazy. But that's a common story. Okay, moving on. Called to me then the master, saying, gather ye together, my people. Take them by the arts ye have learned so of far across the waters, until ye reach the land of the hairy barbarians, dwelling in the caves of the desert. Follow there the plan that ye know of. That almost sounds like relating to the Bible story having to do with Moses, really, but that's kind of how, I think they went through the desert and all that stuff, and all that stuff. So, oh man, hairy barbarians. So maybe they were like Neanderthals or something. You know, like like who was the master? That's what I'd like to know. It talks about it a couple times already. So obviously the master. Okay, moving on. Gathered I then my people and entered the great ship of the master. Jeez, that's just like Noah's Ark. Upward we rose into the morning. Well, that doesn't. Okay. Dark beneath us lay the temple. Suddenly over it rose the waters. Vanished from earth until the time appointed was the great temple. Gather I then and my people and entered the great ship of the master. Oh, it wasn't a boat necessarily. Jeez. Okay, yeah. Great ship of the master. Upward we rose into the morning. That doesn't sound like, you're just floating on water. I'm sorry, people. People that are, not sure. Okay. Dark beneath us. It doesn't say far beneath us, so it says dark beneath us lay the temple. Suddenly over it rose the waters. Oh, shoot. Okay, so you're seeing they're above the temple, and then over it rose the waters. And so they're actually seeing this, the temple. What was the temple about? The temple of light. Still rising out of the water. Some there were who living saved from the rush of the fountains. So the temple of light. But I mean, I'm surprised it doesn't say dark beneath us lay the temple of light. But if it's dark beneath us lay the temple, it's no longer the temple of light if there is no light. So that's kind of a clever little just instead of saying the temple of light, well, it's not the temple of light. Dark beneath us lay the temple. That's genius. That's genius. Because there are all kinds of maybe that's nothing, but suddenly over it rose the waters, vanished from earth. But it wasn't, it was only dark beneath us lay the temple. Suddenly over it rose the waters, vanished from earth until the time appointed was the great temple. So one day it might rise again if the seas go down, and maybe it already has. Who knows? Fast we fled toward the sun of the morning, until beneath us lay the land of the children of Chem. Raging they came with cudgels and spears, lifted in anger, seeking to slay and utterly destroy the sons of Atlantis. Children of Chem. Yeah, so these were lower consciousness probably, or at least understanding. Cudgels, I'm not sure what cudgels are exactly, but this simple weapon, I suppose. Spears lifted in anger, seeking to slay and utterly destroy the sons of Atlantis. Yeah, obviously they're just... Then raised I my staff and directed a ray of vibration, striking them still in their tracks as fragments of stone of the mountain. Then spoke I to them in the words of calm and peaceful, telling them of the might of Atlantis, saying, we were children of the sun and its messengers. Cowed I them by my display of magic science until at my feet they groveled when I released them. Yeah, that would be crazy. Whatever technology they had for using vibration as like a simple way to stun them without hurting them, and that's amazing. Vibration is the key, people. Everything vibrates. Things don't even touch each other at a molecular level. Okay. All right. When I release them, yeah. And naturally, people are going to, especially technology they don't understand, they will, people will be like, oh man, they're freaking gods and stuff like that when they're really just using technology that they, a little bit of better knowledge, like going to a third world country, looking at their technology compared to like United States or South Korea or something. Do when I release them. Okay. Long dwelt we in the land of Kim, long and yet long again. Long dwelt. Dwell. Oh, they hung out. They went to the land of Kim and hung out, and yet long again. Until obeying the commands of the Master, who, while sleeping, yet lives eternally. So maybe the Master is the higher dimensional. He could, during meditation or something like that, be able to communicate, I guess. But that's kind of, I mean, if I was communicating with a higher dimensional being, I wouldn't necessarily I wouldn't necessarily, commands of the Master, who else sleeping at lives eternally. It could even be like a consciousness, like almost like a computer, almost like a computer simulation program. Like he's just a higher dimensional being with all this knowledge, and it's almost downloaded on a hard drive and like artificial intelligence. But maybe it's real intelligence. Who knows? I don't know. That's kind of different. Until obeying the commands of the Master, who while sleeping yet lives eternally. I sent from me the sons of Atlantis, sent them in many directions, that from the womb of time wisdom might arise again in her children. Yeah, so like maybe we'll gain our shit back one day. Bring it back, guys. All we have to do is freaking look into this and you'll get your answers. So, okay. I don't know. I don't really know what we've learned so far. But other than there was definitely some crazy shit going on, my people. My people? Did I say man? I did not mean that. My people. You are watching this video. Okay. Trying to move on. Okay. Okay. I sent from me the sons of Atlantis, sent them in many directions, that from the womb of time, wisdom might arise again in her children. Yeah. Long time dwelt I in the land of Kim, doing great works by the wisdom within me. Upward grew into the light of knowledge the children of Kim, watered by the rains of my wisdom. Doing great works with it. Upward grew the light of knowledge the children of Kim, watered by the rains of my wisdom. So he was like a teacher. I mean, among other things, I'm sure. Sure, he was many things. Blasted I then a path to Amante, so that I might retain my powers, living from age to age, a son of Atlantis. It's S-U-N, not S-O-N. Keeping the wisdom, preserving the records. So being the son of Atlantis and the S-U-N is very interesting because he is almost the eternal energy of Atlantis. So he is the prime source. And holy cow, like that's an understanding I'm just realizing now, and that's freaking cool. Because it's not the son of Atlantis, S-O-N, it's the S-U-N. So, and the sun is known as like the eternal light, I believe, something like that, among other things. And so that's freaking way cool. Doing great works by the wisdom, upward grew into the light of knowledge, the children of Kim, watered by the rains of my wisdom. He taught them young, and so that they would be able to pass on. Blasted I then, and not all of my interpretations I'm saying are absolutely correct. It's your own interpretation of it as well, but there are many ways to understand it as well. And yeah, so party, just saying. Where am I in this? Living from age to age, a son of Atlantis. Keeping the wisdom, preserving the records. The ultimate storage for all knowledge. Well, that's not part of it. It's just, but yeah, that's amazing. Obviously, you might want to like have a print off and stay with me, because that way you understand my commentary is not on here. But they already said that in there, I swear. I heard it on a documentary or something. Great grew the sons of Chem, conquering the people around them, growing slowly upwards in soul force. Soul force. That's interesting. Now for a time I go from among them into the dark halls of Amate, deep in the halls of the earth, before the lords of the powers, face to face once again with the dweller. With the detacher. Dweller is a detacher, I think, from my understanding. No word for it. Great grew the sons of Chem. Obviously, they started to do better things. Conquering the people around them didn't necessarily mean that they, killed everybody, but growing slowly upwards in the soul force. Soul force. What does that mean exactly? Soul force. Like, it's obviously a very powerful force. Their souls were growing. Definitely. Because of the wisdom, from my understanding. From my understanding, now for a time I go from among them into the dark halls of Amate, deep in the halls of the earth, before the lords of the powers, face to face again once with the dweller. And face to face with the dweller. And remember, I think the dweller, you can't, is that right? You can't look. You can't barely look at, not many people have, the dweller of Unal, from my understanding. You cannot normally look them face to face and live, but some do. Okay. Okay. Face to face once again with the dweller. Is he going to survive a second time face to face with the dweller? Let's see. Raised eye high over the entrance, a doorway, a gateway leading down to Amate. Few there would be with courage to dare it. Few passed the portal to dark Amate. Raised over the passage I, a mighty pyramid, using the power that overcomes Earth force gravity, and in parentheses it's gravity. Earth's force, which is gravity. Deep and yet deeper placed I a force house or chamber, from it carved I a circular passage reaching almost to the great summit. There, in the apex, set I the crystal, sending the ray into the time-space, drawing the force from out of the ether, concentrating upon the gateway to Amate. So he was definitely meditating. And some of these in parentheses things, I think, are just his interpretation. I mean, obviously, Earth's force is he's probably talking about gravity. but it's also up for interpretation. But okay. Raised I high over the entrance. So why was he raised high over the entrance? Maybe he had to jump down or something. A doorway. A gateway leading down to Amate. Few there would be with courage to dare it. Yeah, obviously it would, be scary. Few pass the portal to dark Amate. So there might be a light Amate. That might be easy to get to. Oh, I'm just kidding. But raised over the passage, a mighty pyramid. Raised over the passage, Is he saying he's a mighty pyramid, maybe? Using the power that overcomes Earth force. So he was actually raised. It was like an anti-gravity thing, obviously, but raised over the passage, a pyramid, a mighty pyramid. It was a mighty one. It wasn't just like, a weak one. I'm just kidding. But using the power that overcomes Earth force. Deep and yet deeper placed I, a force house or chamber. From it carved I, a circular passage reaching almost to the great summit. There in the apex set I the crystal, sending the ray into the, in quotes, time space, drawing the force from out of the ether, concentrating upon the gateway to Amate. Force, so he put a crystal. So crystals are powerful too. Look into crystal healing and all that stuff. It's been done for thousands of years, so there's probably something to it. Who knows? I'll go a little bit further here, I think. I'm not sure. Let's see. Yes, we're almost done here with the first Emerald Tablet of Thoth. Okay. Okay, next, going on. Other chambers I built and left vacant to all seeming, yet hidden within them are the keys to Amate. He who in courage would dare the dark realms, let him be purified first by long fasting. Lie in the sarcophagus of stone in my chamber. Lie in the sarcophagus of stone in my chamber. Then to reveal I to him the great mysteries. Soon shall he follow to where I shall meet him. Even in the darkness of earth shall I meet him. I, Thoth, Lord of wisdom, meet him and hold him and dwell with him always. Okay, so other chambers I built and left vacant to all seeming, yet hidden within them are keys to Amate. Yes, hidden chambers within the pyramid and stuff like that, from my understanding. He who in courage would dare to dark the dark realms, let him be purified first by, make sure to fast, before you go in there, because that's a way of purification as well. You can see that if you go like a week without eating, then it's supposed to like kind of be like a purification thing for your body, from my understanding. So that's pretty freaking cool. Check out that. Lie in the sarcophagus of stone in my chamber. So you got to find that sarcophagus in the stone. Sarcophagus is like I know what a sarcophagus is. Then to reveal I to him the great mysteries. So as long as you fast and go in the sarcophagus and lay down, he'll give you some information for great mysteries. So that's pretty cool. Soon shall he follow to where I shall meet him. So he's going to follow where he's going to meet him. Like, okay. So Thoth is going to go first, and the Dweller is going to go second, I think. Soon. Yeah, Thoth is already there. I mean, he's already long past all this craziness, because he has lots of wisdom, apparently. Even in the darkness of earth shall I meet him, I, Thoth, Lord of wisdom. Meet him and hold him and dwell with him always. So once you get through it, I mean, you have him on your side, like, all the time, I guess. Cool. What's up, Thoth? Yo, buddy. You know, what's he look like in the afterlife? I don't know. Or, you know, in his other form. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I don't get it. Okay. Built I the great pyramid, patterned after the pyramid of earth force, burning eternally, so that it, too, might retain through the ages. In it, I built my knowledge of magic science, so that it might be here when again I return from Almante. So it might be, it might not be. I don't get the A, but while I sleep in the halls of Almante, my soul roaming free will incarnate, dwell among men in this form or another. And talk about Hermes and Thriceborn. So he claims to have built the pyramid. And that's freaking awesome. Awesome. Pattern after the pyramid of anti-gravity. It's patterned. So anti-gravity. So if you want to build an anti-gravity machine, build a freaking pyramid. It has to be it. That is a secret right there. Okay? That's freaking awesome. Built I the Great patterned, it's patterned after the pyramid of earth force, of gravity. Wait. Maybe an anti-gravity is the exact opposite of a pyramid. I'm not sure. I'd have to check. What is the opposite of a pyramid? Because it's patterned after the pyramid of earth force. And if the pyramid wasn't the reason for, like, that's in the shape of gravity, but